Welcome to the Dork Forest. Jackie and her pals will never bore us. Shameless confessions
about our obsession
will make us laugh and smile. So let's explore the Dork Forest and dork out for a while.
Hi, it's Jackie Cation. Welcome to the Dork Forest. You know the websites, JackieCation.com, DorkForest.com, TheDorkForest.com. That's where all of the information lies, by the way. If you go to JackieCation.com, you can link to my AllThingsComedy.com page, which has the Dork Forest. Or you can go to the DorkForest.com, which goes right to All Things Comedy. Anyway, you can get the show on iTunes. You can stream it over the interwebs. You can get an app. We got those apps still going on, even though Libsyn is just publishing the bonus content. Just knock yourself out, tdf.libsyn.com. Anyway, the Dork Forest is an exciting, safe space for everyone who wants to talk about their weird thing that they like a lot. And it's not weird. That's what's the great thing about the Dork Forest. I'm Jackie Cation. I'm your host. I do stand-up comedy at JackieCation.com. You can watch me do stand-up comedy live in front of you if you're going to be somewhere. Like, I don't know, Texas. I'm going to San Antonio. I'm going to Oklahoma. I'm going around. I'll be around is what I'm saying. I live in Los Angeles. I perform there a great deal. I'm doing the LA Podcast Festival in October. If you go to lapodcast.com, you can probably get tickets to that down Santa Monica. I'm doing the New York Podcast Festival in January, and I'm trying to get fancy guests. May not happen. May just be me, but it did it with the ding, and that'll be fine. That's good times. Okay. In other news, this month's episodes are sponsored by Society of the Spectacle, who gave me free glasses. And they're really super cool glasses. They are two-toned and very glamorous. And Society of the Spectacle is in Eagle Rock. Say hi to Katie and Amy when you go in and say, hey, Jackie loves her glasses. And Society of the Spectacle, by the way, is a 1967 French communist tome that they named their glasses store after. That makes them the coolest people ever. So if you're ever in Eagle Rock and need glasses, go to the Society of the Spectacle. In other news, you can just donate. Just donate to the show because I'm working over here and everyone should give me $100 a year. And if you don't have $100 a year, you should give me $8 a month forever. What the heck? And then everyone would then give me $100 a year and I would be better. You can also order merch, t-shirts, CDs at JackieCation.com, and there's an Amazon banner. If you just click on the Amazon banner and do what you normally do, which is order crap from Amazon, I get a kickback. Wow, that was 2 minutes of nonsense. Let's just get to my guest, Brandie Posey. Welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me. Your glasses do look really great. I was going to say something
right?
about it when you came in. Yeah, they're good.
They're hipper than I need, quite honestly.
They work for your face though.
Yeah,
they're good because they're like the thick black frames, but they're not like too obnoxious. They're not obnoxious.
Right.
They're good.
Yeah, Katie was like, "Let's try on another pair," and I was like, "Really?"
Like, no,
why don't we just try on 3 pairs and then I'll pick one of those 3. And she's like, no.
Yeah.
And so we kept going and we picked a very nice, and I really do love them. They're kind of cool. And
they're nice.
Kira Sultanovich today was telling me that they're very hip. Mm-hmm. And I was like, well, that seems a waste, but let's do it.
They're hip, but they're not like overly hip, and I like that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
right.
no, they're good. Because
doesn't
sometimes
look like I'm trying.
No. Because some people have the ones that take up a third of their entire face, and it's like you don't need to see that much.
I wore those in real time back in the 80s.
Yeah, exactly.
Brandie Posey, it's at Brandazzle on Twitter.
Yep.
And you do the stand-up comedy
I
with
do.
the talking and the funny.
Yep.
And it's very exciting.
As much funny as I can
muster at this time.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yep. Do the comedy. I also have a podcast called Lady to Lady too.
That's right.
So.
I've been on Lady to
Yeah.
Lady. A live Lady to Lady.
Yep.
And that's what is that? LadyToLady.com or something?
LadyToLadyComedy.com. And then we're on iTunes and Stitcher and Libsyn and
everything I'm on. Everything everyone's on.
We're on a thing called Audio Boo too, which is like a UK thing.
We may not be on that.
We have 2 followers.
We have the 2 followers?
2 followers.
I just made a Pandora station.
Oh, yeah?
I was told to make a Pandora station of my own comedy, which I thought, well, that seems promotional.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's weird about Pandora. Only my new album, the Bread album, is on there. The previous album, Circus People, not on there. And so I emailed Pandora and I was like, hey, you told me to do this thing, but my other album isn't on there. You might want to
add it on there.
Get with it.
Yeah. I just have my track from the Holy Fuck album is the only track of mine that's on Pandora.
Excellent.
And it's funny because the tags that are on it are like yelling, ranting feminism. I'm like, oh, well, I've just been summed
Did
up.
everyone
Okay,
like my
thanks.
track? I take it because I like some yelling, ranting feminism. Who doesn't?
Yeah, I was like, maybe put funny on there too, you guys.
Right. Why don't we keep talking?
Yeah, let's make it sound like it's like I'm entertaining to listen to.
Right,
Okay.
exactly. In
Jesus.
addition to my political agenda.
Yeah. I'm not even that serious all the time, but sure, whatever.
Right, exactly. And I said, what, speaking of serious.
Yeah.
I said, what do you like as a dorkdom? And you were like, ska music. Mm-hmm. And I said, is that hippie, stoner thing? And I got a very stern, what happened to safe space here?
Oh, man.
These are not those people. The ska music.
Ska kids are, and no matter how old you are, you were always a ska kid. That's just what happens.
When was it invented?
Well, there's 3 different kinds of ska music. First wave, two-tone, second wave, and then third wave.
Okay.
Started in like the 50s. First wave, second wave kind of came back in like in Britain in like the 70s, and the third wave started late 80s. It became really popular in the 90s.
Is it British origin? Ska?
Mostly Jamaican, kind of British.
Okay.
Yeah, like it comes from. Yeah.
There are buildings full of things I don't know about ska music. So let's go there.
Most people don't know anything about it. And this is the thing. Ska music is like the one kind of music that everybody makes fun of all the time. Like more so people think that everyone just shits on country music. That's not true. Like
Right.
some people are like, oh, I like it. And it's like, oh, well, I guess, there's good country music, like, oh, there's always Johnny Cash. But everyone refuses to admit, unless you're a ska kid, that there is good ska out there.
Now, what is the difference? And I'm jumping ahead, of course.
Yeah.
That between, that and reggae.
Reggae actually kind of came from first wave ska music.
Okay.
Ska was originally kind of on like the twos and like a basic measure of music has 4 beats.
Okay.
And like the downbeats are usually on like 1 and 3, and on ska they're on 2 and 4. So it's kind of like closer to like kind of like almost like an oompa beat, almost like ba da da da, as opposed to da 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 da.
What about salsa? Because I had a salsa dork on, and she was talking about how she is, she's on the 2.
Yeah.
She's a salsa dancer on the 2. And so I bet you some ska is used in some salsa.
I wouldn't be surprised. It's
because if it's a 2/4.
Yeah. The thing that kind of distinguishes it from even things like especially in third wave like pop punk or just punk in general is that you tend to have horns in ska music. So it is a much more musical thing, like your trumpets and your trombones and your saxophones. So
There's usually a small band happening?
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, most ska bands are 4 or 5 pieces at the minimum. I mean, I've seen bands that are 12 pieces.
Okay.
It's like 12 guys on stage and you're like, none of you are getting paid.
Right, you're splitting $200.
Yeah,
the 12 of you.
if you're lucky.
If you're lucky. And your bar tab.
Yeah.
But, so what's the scoop in the 50s? So what happens?
It kind of started when radio in Jamaica started becoming a thing. It just they were looking at like some rock and roll, and they just kind of just decided to just shift everything a beat down. And it came from like Jamaican musicians that would they wanted something kind of mellow to be playing in the background while they were like basically doing their bits in between songs. And that's kind of where like the original ska kind of started coming from.
Wait, they would talk?
Yeah, they would just talk and kind of mess with each other over ska music. It's a very irreverent genre of music, and I'm always surprised that more comedians aren't into it. Especially, yeah, like most ska musicians are actually huge comedy fans. They're huge comedy dorks.
Okay, so who are the original ska, like the big names in ska in the 50s?
Like
are there?
the Scotalites, like
The Scotalites.
they're kind of like the first one. Old ska bands are really funny because they have ska in the title. Like most of them have like a really
Hence the mocking.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
They're really their
But
names
cool.
are they're just as punny as like improv troops, basically. Like, where you're like, is this a ska band or is this okay?
It's a ska band.
Yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
The Scotalites.
Mm-hmm. The Scotalites are like your original. Like I'm a third wave is kind of where I.
Right.
Because I was a baby and then like a kid in the 90s, so that was kind
so
of
you've done some historical ska.
Yeah.
You came up with the last wave.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
That's so the Scotalites are like Grandmaster Flash, kind of hip hop.
Exactly. They're like
Okay.
your original, like the forefathers, and then there's reggae kind of came out of that, and then two-tone came around in the 70s in Britain. That's where like the Specials and Madness.
Okay.
And that was actually more of like a. Do you know either one of them?
I
at
don't
all?
know either of them.
Oh man, I'm gonna make you a mixtape after
Please
this.
make me a mixtape
That's
and make
what's
it a
gonna
tape so
happen.
that I can find my tape deck somewhere buried in one closet.
I'm gonna make you an 8-track.
Maybe please do. If you could find a way to make vinyl and I can find the enclose and play. I know that it's back, but I don't have a turntable.
I don't
and I certainly don't have 2 turntables. But I have a microphone. So but make me some sort of a mix CD. I would love that.
Okay.
I think Bronger did that one time.
Mm-hmm.
He brought me over and he gave me, it was him and somebody else, 200 songs. Don't do it. Don't do it.
No.
Guess who's not listening to more than 3? This one right here.
No.
Here's what I recommend. Anyone wants to make me a mixed CD or a mixed anything? 8 songs.
That's a solid sampling.
That's a solid sampling. Murray Valeriano. Valeriano. He, I've historically mispronounced it. So, and I've known him for at least 12 years.
Yeah.
So, but he did a U2 CD for me with 77 songs on it. He gave me it was a memory stick.
Oh, wow.
Too many
No, that's
songs.
too much. Even in my favorite bands, I don't have 72 of their songs downloaded.
Exactly. So
like,
I would, the Specials and what's the other?
Specials, Madness are kind of like the big two-tone kind of bands. And the thing is, you probably know Special songs when you hear them. You'll be like, oh, I've heard that in movies a million times.
Okay.
They're two-tone, it's very good, perfect background party music. It's like, it's like, oh, this is fun. We're in a good mood. And like, you can listen to it actively, but it is like, there's something about like things being on the 2 and 4 that just make it a little bit more laid back. And you're like, yeah, no, I can just.
You could dance to it. You could talk to it. You could chill out.
Yeah. I'm not gonna just be on a phone in a corner with this music.
Right. I will be, this is not my sad sack music.
Yeah.
I will cry to. That is Harry Chapin.
Yeah, I've always said that if more people listen to ska music, I think there would be less wars in the world. Like, it really is one of those things. It just makes you really happy.
For real.
I legitimately believe that.
Okay, because some people say that about pot, and some people say that about reggae.
Yeah.
But for real, you think that it's just more, it's fun.
Yeah, I think it's really fun, and it really, the genre does not take itself seriously.
Okay.
Which is why I think it gets ridiculed too, because, people aren't, just... We're like, yeah, no, we get it. We make, like, ska kids and bands make fun of themselves all the time. They're very self-deprecating in a lot of their stuff, especially, like, third wave.
Okay.
The big third wave bands are things like Real Big Fish, Less Than Jake, Mighty Mighty Boss Stones. No Doubt, when it first came out, their first album was a ska album.
Okay.
The first couple of albums.
I've heard of them, and I've heard of the
Doubt.
Boss Tones.
Yeah.
I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. The Boss Stones were in Clueless. That's kind of everybody's big, like, oh, they do the 2 songs.
Right. Yeah. Well, whenever Carrie Brownstein was talking about punk music, and all I've got for punk music, soundtrack to Repo Man. That's all I got.
There you go.
So it's a pretty good mix.
Yeah.
But
Been to a Warped Tour too.
Sure. What about like the Beach Boys? What about actual surf music? Did that come out of it too, or?
I don't know if it came out of it so much, but it ska kind of like takes a lot of either influences or takes a lot of the influences of a lot of that stuff. If you're a very melodic kind of music, and it's punk rock kids who are also in marching band. Like that's
that's the mashup.
Yeah, that's the mashup basically.
Okay, because you're like, well, we have our trumpets.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
we want to chill out for a second. And, there's only so much John Philip Sousa you can enjoy.
Yeah, I mean,
I like it.
Oh yeah, I have a bone to pick with Sousa personally because I played French horn in marching band, and
sweet.
Yeah, pretty
excellent
awesome.
trumpet.
Brass section.
Brass section.
I made T-shirts I was section leader and president my senior year.
Well played.
No big deal. I won that democratically, so I was popular. Yes,
exactly. It worked out.
Yep. And
Where'd you grow up?
In Maryland, right outside of Annapolis, kind of.
All right. Have you had one of those softshell crabs that people talk about in the movies all the time? I've never had that.
Blue crab was hard shell was the first solid food that I ever ate, and it will be the last.
Feed this into my gums. Okay, masticate it, and then like a baby bird.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. That'll be it. When the crabs are gone, I will be gone. That's it. The best thing in the world.
Oh yeah.
Oh, they're so good.
Okay,
so good.
We'll get back to it. So okay. So with the Sousa, what did Sousa do?
French horn parts and John Philip Sousa songs, you never get melody, you never get anything. You are basically just playing the downstroke the entire time.
Are you counting measures? 7, 2, 3, 4, 8, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, basically.
1, 2, 3, 4. That thing?
Not even that. You're just going to go, for
the whole
the
thing.
Entire song.
Oh,
the
yeah.
entire song.
Oh,
And I mean,
And they're like 5-minute songs.
they're 5-minute
6.
songs, and then everybody's got like the piccolo. I hate piccolos, but like they have awesome solos all over the place. Even
Right.
like your low brass has these really cool like trills and like and like the French horn is an amazing instrument. It's the wolf in Peter and the Wolf,
Right.
and that's why I started playing it.
It's one of my favorite instruments. It's my favorite. I think I like the French horn and the flugelhorn,
Yeah.
and I like the cello.
Yeah.
The cello is
gorgeous.
I think of the French horn as the cello of the brass.
I agree.
Yeah?
I agree. It kind of has that like almost like alto range because it
Yeah.
can go high, but it also goes low, and it's
And I
fills in
love a
lot.
sax. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
I'm pro. I mean, I like a Barry sax. I like a tenor
sax.
Sure,
Yeah.
I'm pro saxophone.
I was trying to actually learn tenor sax to be in a ska band for a while. That was a thing that I was trying to do.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
So you took tenor sax lessons, or you just
I
grabbed,
just
get
kind
it
of
and-
was trying to figure it out. I borrowed one from a friend of mine and was actually getting decent, but then I just didn't have time. It was one of those
Right. It
things.
just weeded off.
Yeah, and it's, after I also played French horn since I was in like 4th grade, so having played for so long, it was like, I know, it's the same reason I'll never be good at piano because I know music theory, so I know how this should be, I just don't have the muscle memory, and like it just makes it
and you
really
have to-
frustrating.
it's a lot like playing Halo and other games like that. You got to commit 14 hours first couple of weeks anyway to sort of get that muscle memory going.
just to get it down. So
Sure.
I got like a couple scales and saxophones, and then like I just, was busy around town for a while, and it was like, I'm never going to have the time to actually be good at this.
Right.
And if I'm not good at it, I'm not going to do it.
Right.
So,
My sister still practices the viola every day.
really?
Yeah, because
awesome.
she just loves it. And I played clarinet until high school because marching clarinet is lame.
Yeah.
You were
Not
one
great.
of 25 very lame girls.
Yeah.
And and unless you're really good at it,
Yeah.
then you get the cool parts. But I was never good at any of it because I never practiced any of it.
Yeah.
And so I was always playing third part.
Yeah,
And so it was a lot of support, a lot of support vehicle going on. So once trumpet happened, support trumpet is just fun.
Yeah, oh, yeah,
And
it's
it's
a-
shiny in the sun.
Yeah, it's a fun. I mean, that's a fun brass section. If any people are listening and thinking about playing instruments, like go brass or go drums. Like those are the fun. I always
Drums
had,
are fun.
I had a
They're
blast.
heavy.
Yeah, they are. But I had a blast with people in both sections. Like I love the brass section.
My friends were all from the drum section, and so
Yeah.
and then
Me too.
but I played trumpet and then I played trombone a little bit, but I wasn't very good. I never learned to read music until high school.
Oh, okay.
I just memorized fingerings until
Oh,
high
okay.
school, and then my sister one day, who is the boss of me, I think I must have been in
Classic
9th or
viola
10th grade.
player.
Classic. She played violin at the time. Viola
oh gosh,
in
even
the,
more cliche.
Right. And then, but she played everything. Like once I started clarinet, she started playing my clarinet. And then once I got my trumpet, she was like, let me have that. And then
Yeah.
she played French horn.
Oh,
and
wow.
she could play everything. She just bought a piano that she's pretty proud of. And,
That's impressive.
yeah, she just loves to play music. And she was, for a little while, she was in a klezmer band where she played the banjo.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And,
Nice.
that was weird.
Yeah.
And, but one day, I don't know, 9th or 10th grade, she was watching me practice and she was like, "You don't know how to read music." And I said, I'm playing the music, aren't I? And she was like, "Yeah, what note is that?" And I was like, "I don't know." And she's like,
it's these keys.
"It's this fingering." And
Yeah.
she's like, "We're done. We're done talking about this. You're going to be learning how to read music." And so she taught me how to read music
Yeah.
at the late date of being 14 or 15. But it was good.
FACE.
Face.
Yep.
Yes, every good boy does whatever.
Yeah.
It didn't stick, but she
Yeah.
did teach me for the remaining moments of my high school years.
Yeah.
So ska music. So how'd you get into it?
I got into it because growing up, my brother. Well, it's funny because that's the reason I'm a comedian too. My
Older?
Younger brother.
Okay.
I'm the oldest of the two.
Okay.
My brother was a semi-professional BMXer, basically, bicycle motocross.
right.
Like my family owned a bike track. The only vacations we ever took as kids were we went 2 bike races so he could
Wow.
like compete nationally. So I just took CDs and Jim Carrey movies and just like would just be in the van because I didn't want to talk to the rednecks of the track because I was like, nothing's about me, is it? Now I do comedy and everything's about me.
Everything, the world, you are the sun.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. So I had a friend that had initially told me about this band called Less Than Jake. And like, I just borrowed a couple of his CDs, and there was the summer before my freshman year of high school. But I had always listened to oldies growing up, like whatever my parents' radio station, like that was what I listened to completely.
Right.
So I don't actually know I know nothing about classic rock. I missed that completely because I went straight from like oldies doo-wop into I only love ska music. And I
Like
listened to
Frankie
all of
Valli,
it.
kind of Connie Willis. Like,
Yeah, I went straight from that. Was actually the transition is not that crazy because, you know, third wave ska has like a lot more. It's a lot faster and it's louder, but like
it's got Sinatra and
and
Nat
there's
King Cole
melodies.
and, Yeah,
there's a lot of like
Interesting.
melody and there's a lot of musicianship and a lot of great ska bands too. I mean, the guys from Real Big Fish, they're most of their horn section, especially, they sit in their studio musicians whenever they're in town, and they, you know, I mean, John, their trumpet player, like I'm good friends with him, and he like does lessons for people. He's played on a ton of soundtracks and stuff. He was actually in The Cable Guy. He's one of the trumpet players in the medieval times scene.
Excellent. That is a Jim Carrey movie, if I remember correctly.
Yes, it is.
Did you say? Did you email me that you had seen all of them?
Jim Carrey was like my other ska music and Jim Carrey like my 2 big things because I have not missed the opening day of a Jim Carrey movie since Ace Ventura 2. It's tradition at this point.
All right. Yeah, it has to be at this point.
Yeah.
It has to be tradition because what's happening? How's his career coming along? Are you still following? He's still working, I'm sure.
He's still working. The last couple of years, in the last year, he's done some stuff that I'm excited about. I think he went the kid movie route for a little bit, but now he like this year he did Burt Wonderstone, which was actually a really funny movie.
What is it? I've heard of it. I didn't see it.
Steve Carell and Jim Carrey basically as David Copperfield and Chris Angel in Vegas. And it's like Anchorman. It's just full of jokes. Characters don't matter. It's just jokes. You watch it. It's fun. And you're like, oh, it was great. Alan Arkin's in it.
Right.
I love Alan Arkin.
Sure, nothing wrong with Alan Arkin.
It was delightful. And then he was just in Kick-Ass too.
Okay.
And really, really good in that movie too. So, I mean, I'm hoping he's doing weird little bit parts. I'm hoping he's kind of just working his way back into adult comedies again.
Right.
I missed that from him.
Yeah.
A lot.
Oh, because those are formative comedies when you're a child.
Yeah.
I saw Overboard.
Yep.
And most of, and then I saw a lot of old comedies when I was a kid. A lot of Bob Hope, you know, the road movies and Bing Crosby and all that.
Yeah, all that stuff.
Good times.
Yeah.
So you grew up in Maryland.
I grew up in Maryland. My summers were spent on the road basically just watching my brother bike race and me with with saxophones and trumpets in my head, just like walking around. Cause I appreciate it now more, but like at the time it was like, I don't have anything in common with these people. I'm like the bookish kid that wants to be reading the entire time with headphones in my ears. So ska bands kind of became my thing like that, especially that first in high school, especially. I mean, when I went to my first show, I saw Real Big Fish, Zebrahead, and Teen Heroes, who I don't think are together anymore. And Zebrahead doesn't do much, but they're awesome. Go check them out. They're kind of like a hip hop ska punk band, and they're weird, but they're awesome. I'll put them on your mix.
Do they do is there a lot of crossover? Do they do a lot of mashup kind of stuff? Ska and hip hop?
Yeah, they kind of tend to move around a lot. I mean, a lot of, especially like Real Big Fish, they do a lot of 80s covers.
Are you saying aerobic fish or Rubik?
Real Big Fish.
Real Big Fish?
Real big, like
R-E-A-L.
giant fish. R-E-E-L.
Oh, it's in zzz.
Yeah.
Real. Mm-hmm. Real in a fish.
Yeah.
Like Real Big Fish.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. It's a...
I thought you were saying Rubik Fish.
Oh, no.
Which is not a bad name for a band.
Yeah. That's probably a better name than Real Big Fish. They know it too. They are not, it's a dumb name they come up with, and then they just it's stuck forever, and they will be the first ones to say it.
It's like,
what have we
done?
Improv group names.
Again, an improv troupe. So where are they from?
They're from Orange County. Less Than Jake is from like Gainesville,
Florida.
Gainesville, Florida. They have a song called Gainesville Rock City, which is like the anthem of that town. It's really awesome. The Mighty Mighty Bosstones are from Boston. Boss Stones.
Right, right.
Yeah, I mean, they're kind of from all over the place, but like the third wave ska music scene kind of started in Orange County, and it was Real Big Fish. Sublime was kind of a part of it. They're not really ska, but some of their stuff kind of is.
Okay. Yeah, I had never heard of Sublime until I moved here.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And it was one of the first, Andy was like, what do you mean you haven't heard of Sublime? And I said, hey, California boy, you're going to hear your weird band.
Yeah,
You've
exactly.
never had a bratwurst, so shut up. And
Is there avocado in this bratwurst? No.
Yeah, there's no avocado.
No.
We're not allowed to have avocados. It's very expensive.
Yeah,
But
I was never a real big Sublime fan, just because like they talk about drugs and stuff too much. And it was
they're
like,
a mess.
Yeah.
That guy was a mess, wasn't he?
Completely.
And there's two songs I think I like that Centauri.
Santeria.
Sure,
Yeah.
that's the song I'm thinking of. That one, and I think there's one other one, the Riot song.
Yeah.
1991 or whatever. And those are both, I mean, they got good beat. The kids can dance to them. I like singing them along. But they are not particularly positive.
No, they're really not.
And are the lyrics mostly positive in ska?
I wouldn't say that they're positive so much as a lot of their songs either tell funny stories or make fun of the members of the band, or like they're really
It's loose.
Yeah, I mean, especially Real Big Fish. Real Big Fish's biggest influence is probably Steve Martin, more so than most of the most ska bands. Like they're huge comedy nerds.
Okay.
Yeah, like they're
from Orange County.
They're from Orange County. They're like obsessed with comedy. I mean, like they're
around.
Yeah, they're around. Like I'm friends with a bunch of the guys in the band now, and it's funny because the lead singer used to come to my open mic that I hosted all the time because he just wanted to see the process of comedy. It terrified him. I was like, you perform in front of thousands of people,
right?
But it's terrifying to you. But it comes from the same place that they want to. I mean, musicians and comedians that come from such a similar background in a lot of different ways. And ska music even closer, I think, to comedy because it is a very funny, self-deprecating art form, especially third wave, where a lot of their songs, like some of Real Big Fish's big songs are about like being, they have a song called Sell Out that's really funny. They have a song called We Are the Dateless Losers about them being losers in high school. And it's like an anthem, basically. And I mean, you also, you wear Hawaiian shirts and checkers and like cherry dresses.
Is that why you're wearing your Hawaiian shirt?
No, I just wore this just because.
You happen to own several Hawaiian shirts?
Just happen to own a couple of Hawaiian shirts. I own so much. You would think that I was a huge NASCAR fan because I own a lot of checkered stuff. Checkers are kind of like the unofficial mascot of ska music.
Oh, really?
In a way. Yeah, it goes back
like
to
a checkered flag checker?
Yeah.
Is that what you mean?
Yeah. Just like black and white checkers.
Okay.
Like Van shoes. Like a lot of kids just own Vans. Like they make their money off of ska music.
Right.
Ska fans.
Well, because I used to always wear Vans, but then because I played hacky sack a lot. And that was one of my. I still play hacky sack.
Yeah.
I enjoy hacky sack.
Nice.
You ever play hacky sack?
I'm not good at it.
No.
I wish I was better.
I'm a team player myself.
Nice.
It's I can't do many tricks or anything. I can keep it in the air, but that's about it.
Yeah, I like watching it happen, and then I like getting like one kick in and being like, okay, you guys keep going. I'm just gonna just gonna sit back.
That's why it's nice when there's 4 or 5 people in a circle. It's nice. You can keep it going.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Oh man, but yeah, the checkers kind of came about during second wave. Two-tone ska kind of gets its name from black and white because it was a music in the UK that helped bring black and white people together too. Like that's what the checkers actually stands for. Initially.
Okay.
It's like it's about unity. It's about looking past the colors of our skin.
Right.
And just having a good time dancing.
Having a good time dancing, and
the dance.
So it was racial.
Yeah. Initially, yeah.
Okay, the two-tone, and that was the 80s or late 80s?
That was
or?
late 70s, 80s in Britain.
Okay. What bands were those?
That's like the Specials and Madness and all those guys.
Okay.
Yeah, their stuff's awesome. And a lot of their stuff kind of tends to get into like the racial element of what was happening at the time.
Okay.
And they talk about a little bit about that, like those values kind of have been transferred forward to third wave ska. Sometimes some of their songs are a little bit more aggressive about it. But most of their songs about like, let's all just not take ourselves seriously and be goofy,
right.
And then people won't fight as much.
Right. I don't mind it as a I don't even know what you an anthem or as a modus operandi of how to live your life.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, just sort of don't worry about it so much. Just it'll be fine.
Just go dance a little bit. I mean, ska shows are the most fun thing in the world because a lot of people think that ska is actually swing music, and it's not, but you can swing dance to a lot of ska music at the same time. Yeah, so you have people coming out in full suits and little pork pie hats and like full on dresses, and they'll just go crazy at ska shows. That's awesome.
Because you can jitterbug or whatever.
You can jitterbug.
What do swing dance people do? Something like
that.
Might be a different episode of the Dork Forest. What the swing dance people are doing.
Yeah, I don't know quite as much about that. I've been twirled a few times,
right?
Yeah.
And you've seen but you've seen the outfits.
Yeah,
so
yeah. I've owned the outfits.
Oh, okay.
I have costumes that I wear to shows. Basically, I have like dresses and like
okay.
Ska shows are like an event. You bring out like your checkered suspenders. You like wear the whole thing. You wear as many checkers as possible. I know a lot of girls that have like made their own dresses.
Sure.
You find like weird kind of fun vintagey stuff like the 50s pinup hair has always been a big part of like dressing up for ska shows and stuff.
Oh, really? Like the beehive and all that kind of stuff?
And like, and the giant pompadours and like red lips and like Gwen Stefani's whole look is, you see a million copies of her at ska shows forever.
I wonder if that's what Lord Corrette is into. Do you know Lord Corrette?
I don't think so.
Stand-up comic, road guy. He used to live here for a while.
Yeah.
Funny guy.
Yeah.
But he always has a pompadour.
Maybe.
He's always had a swoopy haircut.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, it's either that or maybe it was like
a
Beach Boys and
rockabilly
stuff.
or something.
Maybe it was rockabilly.
Somewhere in there.
What's the difference between rockabilly and ska?
Just the style. I mean, just because rockabilly just the beat. Yeah, just the beat. I mean, a lot of the fashion sense is relatively similar. Rockabilly is a little bit more hard edge, like your blacks and your skulls and stuff, and ska's a little bit more like, but then also throw in some crazy flowers and,
right. More Fonzie, less Joni and Chachi.
Let's wear a tie over a t-shirt.
Wow. All right.
Yeah, the dancing that you do, you can like swing dance and stuff, but there's also the ska dancing is called skanking.
Okay. It's actually called skanking?
It's called skanking. That's what it's called, which was always hard to explain to my parents.
Did it come before the word skank or after?
They're not related at all. So
because you're not shaking your ass and having a penis inside of you?
No, it's basically just like it's a less intense version of moshing to some degree.
Oh, okay.
Like you're not going after people, but you are just like dancing elbows up and like feet out on like the 2s and 4s.
Okay.
And like at ska shows, there's always giant open circle pits of just people like getting to go in the middle and like dance, and you get out. And it really is a cool community because everyone is usually pretty good about like giving you your space for a couple minutes and you get out of the way and then somebody else gets to go in, like they dance for a minute. Yeah. I mean, I remember in college, I went to go see, there was a tour for a couple of years called the Ska's Dead Tour because people have always said, oh, ska's not even a thing anymore. But it has quietly just been this awesome scene of music that's been around forever. And I remember the day before I had separated my shoulder playing Ultimate Frisbee.
Okay.
So I had like my arm was in a sling and I had drawn black and white checkers all over it.
Yep.
And I was like, I'm not gonna not dance to the Voodoo Glow Skulls.
Glow Skulls.
Yeah, the Voodoo Glow Skulls. Really awesome band. I feel like they're also from Southern California.
Sure.
I don't 100% know about that one though. But I was like, whatever, I'm high on pain meds, it'll be fine. And they stopped one of their songs and was like, give the girl some room.
Oh, there you go. She
has a sling made of checkers. The rest of the song is for you because you're really badass.
What?
Yeah,
That's
it was awesome. Like ska bands are so good to their fans and they hang out afterwards and they like talk to you and stuff. Like,
how big are the venues? Like, I mean, is it usually just like 300 or 400 people or 200 people?
Usually around that. I mean, depending completely. It's kind of like the equivalent of,
but they're not giant stadiums.
No.
Like,
in LA, the equivalent.
UB40?
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Like out here, like they'll play like the El Rey or the Wiltern or the House of Blues is like the exact size.
Okay.
That most like main
and
stage.
Those fit about 300 or 400 people max. So so that's nice. Then they can see you. And
yeah, totally. And they'll interact and like they'll like make fun of and riff for their audience. Like a lot of ska bands are fine with you coming up on stage and dancing with them and jumping off and stuff.
Right. As long as you're cool.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I had a friend. I remember on Warped Tour. This first year that I went to Warped Tour, Green Day and the Mighty Mighty Bosstones were on, and my friend
Green
Day was on it. They're not a ska band, obviously, but like they were on Warped Tour. This is 2000 or 1999, somewhere in there.
Right. This is how little I know about music. I used to get Green Day and REM mixed up. I'll be over here.
It's all good. But I remember seeing going to see Green Day, and Green Day's pit was crazy because at that point they'd blown up. They were right on that cusp to blow up.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of bros came out just to see them, and bros at shows are the worst because they just want to like kick and punch and get drunk, and that's what they think that going to like a show is. And it's like, no, this is about a community of people that love this band.
Right.
Get out of my way. Let me dance. I'll let you dance.
Yeah.
Like it's like this is
we can share the space. Guys.
Yeah, we're
Gentlemen.
all solo losers that like this one weird thing, and then
want
we've
bros
come together.
to stop being bros and start being bronies.
I would love that so much.
How they would be so much more into rainbows and unicorns, and it would be nice. Anyway,
Have you had a brony on the show yet?
I have not. I've been meaning to, but do you know a brony?
I don't think I do.
Oh, I think we do.
I mean, I'm sure we know
I'm
one.
sure we know a brony.
Yeah.
And we have access to a brony.
If any bronies are listening,
Jackie at JackieCation.com. There you go. Knock yourself down.
But my friend Beth that was at a Warped Tour with me, she had like a backpack full. She loved Green Day. She had green dyed hair. She was obsessed with them. Cool. And she got like her backpack got ripped off during the show. I lost her for like 2 hours. I couldn't find her. I finally ended up running into her like 2 hours later, and she had like she had gone and like was like crying next to the Green Day tent because she was really upset because she'd gotten like messed up in this pit.
Yeah.
And the lead singer of the Mighty Mighty Bosstones, Dickie Barrett, was just walking back from the show, like stopped and was like, "Hey, what's going on?"
Right.
And she like kind of told him, and then he was like, "Come with me." And he like brought her to their merch tent, sat down with her, talked to her, got her some water.
Yeah.
And then was and while they're talking, he's just like quietly putting a bag of stuff together, and he was like, "I know we're not Green Day, but like, I don't want you to leave here empty-handed." And he gave her like a tote bag full of
like
Mighty
merch.
Bosstones. Yeah, just to be like, "Hey, I want you to have something to remember today by."
Right. That's a positive.
Yeah,
thing. That
exactly.
Isn't such a what a great guy.
Yeah. Dickie Barrett, he's an amazing dude. He's Jimmy Kimmel's announcer now.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he's Jimmy Kimmel's announcer over at the
Kimmel Show.
Yeah, exactly.
Dickie Barrett.
Dickie Barrett. Yeah,
Great name.
Yep,
It's a great name, Dickie.
yeah, he's a good guy.
Shout out to Dickie Barrett for being a good dude
Yeah.
and just sort of being in the moment. I mean,
totally.
that's kind of amazing.
Yeah, and that's kind of that like has always encapsulated for me just the way that ska has always made me feel, because it is like this cool community that you kind of like comedy that you just immediately plug into. When you find out that somebody else is a ska fan, it's like, oh, okay, cool. So
right.
who have you seen? Like who? Like,
Yeah.
And a lot of the
Can you kind of recognize them when you go
you can
somewhere and you're
recognize
like, that person's probably, What do they look like?
their sideburns are longer than they should be.
But they're owning it.
Yeah, exactly. They're probably wearing slip-on Vans that they may or may not have insoles in based on how old they are, but they just don't want to let them go. You know, a lot of shorts, but then also socks hiked up as high as possible.
Sure, too high. Too
Yeah.
high. Should have gone with an ankle sock, went with more of a knee sock.
Yeah, exactly.
Over the calf.
And then if it's if they're wearing a shirt that has like a dinosaur on it, or like, you know, with then like a weird name around it, you're like, oh, that's probably a ska band that I just don't know yet. That's probably what that is.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Because you know, when you go to a comedy show or anywhere near a comedy show,
Yeah.
and you just see people that aren't up, but they're clearly comics.
Yeah.
You're like, you're a comic, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah. And then you talk to each other about comedy.
Yeah, you just sense like
It's the weird vibe of oh, you have an emergency set list in your pocket.
Yeah, exactly.
In the hopes that someone falls over and you get to get up.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, I mean, ska, and a lot of ska kids are like that too. It's like when I first moved out to LA, I mean, my high school and college, all I spent my money on was going to shows. Like my hearing is going to go bad because of it. Like I know that
Fred Armisen said that you can wear earplugs at shows and no one gets mad at you.
Yeah, I wish I had done that when I was younger. I do it now. I keep earplugs on me now when I go to shows.
Because you can hear them.
Yeah, you can
hear everything.
It actually probably makes the banter better. And the thing about a lot of ska bands have really good banter. Like a lot of them are really funny.
Yeah.
Like there's a band called the Aquabats that they're you would actually probably love them. They're these guys that they dress up like superheroes.
Excellent.
And their bits are they are the names they are. There's a guy called Jimmy the Robot. There's MC Bat Commander, and he's a guy that like wears a mask and then he draws on a little mustache every time, and he does backflips. And
whoa,
they always have somebody come out at some point in the show dressed up like a
Super
crazy villain. Yeah, and they fight him with the power of radness. And it's just so silly and weird, and Yeah, it just feels good.
It seems accessible.
Yeah.
What's the name of that one?
That's the Aquabats.
Aquabats?
And they
All
actually
right.
have a TV show. They had one season, and I think they're working on the second season now too. And they're
Online or
I think it's probably on Netflix. I knew it was on. I couldn't tell you where it was
like
on.
G4 or
yeah,
something like that.
something
no
like
worries.
that. Yeah.
What? Where'd you go to college?
Drexel in Philadelphia.
In Philadelphia.
Yeah,
Okay.
and it was the perfect I love being from the East Coast because I grew up 40 minutes north of DC, and then by the time I moved to Philly, DC was 3 hours away, Baltimore was 2 hours away, Philadelphia was right there, Jersey was right over the bridge, New York was close,
Yeah, just
Boston. So I would my favorite bands would come to town, and I'd be like, I only have 3 days of classes this week.
Right.
I'm just
I'm
gonna
road trip.
do the coast because I just knew people in every city.
And you can take a train and get there.
Yeah,
and
totally.
It's easy enough.
Yeah, and everything was so close that I would be like, yeah, no, I'll stop home. I'll go home for the night. I'll go down there, and
Right.
I mean,
Do some laundry. It'll be fine.
yeah,
Hey,
exactly.
folks.
Yeah, that was the way me and my friends spent most of our college and our high school. You know,
Wow.
I mean, that was it. I love ska shows. I have so many just great memories of going to them and meeting the guys afterwards, because it's been so cool to meet a lot of these guys and be
Yeah.
like, oh, we immediately click because
Right.
you're as weird as I am.
Right.
You know, because it's they are punk rock marching band kids.
Right.
That went with it. And it's
Yeah.
no, I get it. I totally get it.
Right. We're
you're-
going to be in a band, but I'm bringing my trombone.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I'm not going to learn how to play the bass. It's fun. And I'm just doing this. Excellent.
Yeah, yeah.
What, so you move here and did you, are they playing around here?
Oh, yeah.
Do you go?
Yeah, yeah. I still go, I mean, I go less because of comedy. Cause
Sure.
when I
Because you're
moved
working
here,
and trying to get up.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, it's gotta be one of my favorite bands that has to come to town at this point. I haven't really been seeking out new stuff that much anymore. If somebody is you have to hear this, then I'll be like, all right, cool. There's a band called Westbound Train that I just kind of started listening to a couple weeks ago, or a couple months ago now, and they're really, really awesome.
Okay.
I think they're based out of Northern California, but there's a band called the Agrolites that's based out of Southern California, and they're kind of like a funk soul ska reggae kind of mix.
Right, right.
The lines blur all over the place.
Sure. Is it mostly nerdy dudes?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Most of them are super nerdy. There's
But are there nerdy lady ska bands? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, less so. There used to be
Right, because I think it seems like a real nerdy dude kind of thing.
Yeah.
They're like, we are going to gather and do this. We're
Yeah.
bringing it.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's in Real Big Fish, the majority of the band is playing World of Warcraft on the bus the entire time.
Right.
That's what they're
Right.
doing the entire time.
Right. They are reading a book or playing a video game.
Yeah, and it's so funny because I'll be hanging out with them, and then they'll be they're still little girls, so have seen movies of what groupies are supposed to do in the 80s, and they're
Right.
just and they're like, I'm gonna flirt with this guy, and they're like, we're all married, and
Right.
do you want to hang
You
out?
have to find a new young ska band and
Yeah.
flirt with those gentlemen because
Yeah.
they need to be flirted with.
They do. They do.
I have 1.5 children.
Yeah.
So I can't.
Yeah.
I got bills to pay.
Yeah, that's exactly it for a lot of those guys. They're like, I don't know, you're just, even if I
seem
wasn't
nice, but you're 19.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's we're 35.
That's neat. That's actually neat
Yeah.
that they're kind of grown up men about it
Yeah.
too. Cause they're like, we want to play music and we want to do this. Cause there's so many artistic endeavors that people are like, well, you have to be fucked up to be good at it. And you're like,
you
no.
don't. No, you don't. No, you don't. You can
you
be
could
a
be
weirdo.
sane.
Yeah, you can be, yeah.
Yeah, you could be a sane but if you are a jackass,
Yeah.
and if you are a horrible person, you better be funny.
Yeah. Oh, no, you have to be the funniest.
You have to be the funniest horrible person ever, or the most talented,
Yeah.
horrible person ever, because otherwise, I mean, people always talk about how sad it is about Mitch Hedberg, and I was like, yeah, it was sad, and he was a
Yeah.
great guy, but he was a fuck up.
Yeah.
And there was
I
a
know.
reason why he passed away.
I know.
It's
He
because
did it to himself.
it's very, very sad, but he
Yeah.
was genuinely funny, and I would hang out with him any time of the day or night. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But it's, it is not something that, yeah.
No,
So
makes-
it's
yeah.
neat to hear about, musicians. You don't have to be Jim Morrison. You
No.
can be,
Oh, fuck Jim Morrison.
you can die.
Yeah.
You can die of old age.
Yeah, exactly.
In a
You
hospital
can,
bed.
You can live a life. You can let a person love you and
Yeah.
love them back.
The whole
Yeah.
thing. George Carlin. Died of old age.
Yeah, died
Bill
of old-
Cosby
yeah.
going to be dying of old age.
Did you read that book?
These are geniuses.
Did you read that book that came out? George Carlin's wife put together like a book of all of their love letters back and forth, and
Aw.
it's really, really sweet. And it's because they used to write post-it notes back and forth to each other, and they had this like really cool language where they both said that they were both from Jupiter. They were Jupiterians, and like
Yeah.
they had notes to and from their dog that they wrote to each other. And it's this really sweet, silly book that you're like, oh man. Like you see like the surly guy on
Yeah.
the stage and like, well,
Sure.
no, he's a person. We're all
He's a person, and
Yeah.
I guess he's Kelly Carlin, his daughter, is going to be on Kira Sultanovich's.
Oh, cool.
She does a podcast that is about parents who are stand-up comics.
Oh, interesting.
And so she's had different comics on talking about having kids and
Yeah.
doing stand-up. Then recently she had Kelly Carlin in of being the child of a famous stand-up comic
Yeah.
or a working stand-up comic. And Kelly Carlin was like, you know what, like and Kira was like, he missed my first this and he missed my first that. And Kira was like, that is disappointing. So did my dad, and he was a plumber. And I'm like, yeah, so did my dad, and he didn't even try to hide the fact that he was bored.
Yeah.
He was like, I can't make it. Hope it all works out. Hope you win.
Yeah.
Have fun playing softball.
Yeah, well, no, I spent my summers going to my brother's bike races, and my
Right.
parents would be like, "Where are your marching band things?" They've seen me do stand up once. My dad told me that I was a good public speaker.
Oh my God. Thanks, Dad.
Yeah, I was like, "I'll win a boardroom someday. Thank you."
Yes.
I can't wait.
The hilarity. How about was it screaming and feminism?
Yeah, it
that
was
what
my angry feminist rant, which
Your angry
I don't
fem-
even do
don't
that.
even think that's it.
Yeah,
That's
I was
not
like-
what we're talking about.
Yeah, I was like, I'm talking about sharks, but okay. that's
Sharks, pro shark.
fine.
Yeah.
Anti-shark, very anti-shark.
Are you anti-shark?
Terrified of them? I hate sharks more than I hate the idea of distance space traveling. Those are two things.
Really?
I get into arguments with my boyfriend a lot. Well, not arguments, disagreements about whether or
We
not
have discussions.
we have heated discussions sometimes about if like intergalactic space travel were to become a thing,
Right.
if I would sign up for it. And I'm like, no, I don't want to leave the atmosphere. You can't breathe out there.
Right. That's where they keep space.
Yeah, that's where we keep space. I've seen way
What
too
about
many
going under
movies.
the ocean?
I don't want to do that.
Right. That's
either.
where the sharks are being kept.
Yeah, I'm terrified of sharks. I don't know why. I don't really have like a personal thing with them. I mean, I
Are
never
you a big beach person?
loved it growing up. I still like going in a little bit. I prefer the Atlantic to the Pacific though, because the sharks come closer over here.
I prefer freshwater lakes, but that's because I grew up next to Michigan.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
swam and there's nothing in Lake Michigan that's going to eat you.
No, exactly.
Possibly the toxic waste left from the Caterpillar factory.
Yeah.
But
Well,
that's about it.
You grow a third eye.
Right. You know,
Yeah.
who doesn't want walleye with an edge?
Yeah, exactly.
And, so a little perch that's super sharp. Sharp. So so you wanted to be in a band, clearly.
To some degree, like, kind of, I've always liked the idea of it abstractly. Like, I had a scholarship for French horn in college.
Okay, that's how you got on.
Yeah,
got
music
in?
was my first love. I'd always loved music and I'd always loved comedy. Those are my two things. But I think I loved music a lot. I never wanted to let that be my business.
Okay.
And with comedy, I was like, no, I can get into an argument about this. Like,
Okay.
I can
I can stand up for myself.
yeah, I'll
about
stand up
this.
for myself with this. And with music, I was like, I kind of just want to be a hobbyist and enjoy it and
Okay.
not have any magic ruined for me.
Right.
And with comedy, I was like, fuck it, I don't care.
Yeah, there's not that much magic with comedy.
Yeah, there's
Comedy
really-
is-
yeah.
It's very
Yeah.
You know, I've been listening to a lot of on laugh.com there's it's one of the dumbest websites as far as trying to navigate it, but there
Yeah.
on the left side there's a list of different things, and one of the things is on comedy.
Okay.
And they are CDs. You have to buy hard copies of CDs of comics talking about comedy. And I have the Phyllis Diller one, and
wow.
I just for my birthday I got the George Carlin one.
Yeah.
There was a Johnny Carson one. The Johnny Carson one is an interview from 1969 where just some comic is interviewing him about
Wow.
stand-up comedy. And Carlin's being interviewed in 89. Phyllis Diller, I believe Kelly Carlin is interviewing her probably 5 years ago.
Oh, cool.
And there's the Jonathan Winters one. I felt like he must have been tired or something because it wasn't that great.
Yeah.
But the Woody Allen one is great. And
Yeah.
I have a hard time listening to Woody Allen
He's
read his own books on Audible.
Yeah.
I just tried to listen to Without Feathers, and he was reading it, but he was reading it. He must have just recorded it.
Uh-huh.
And he sounds super old, and all I can think is, you married your daughter. And so it's hard.
Hard to look past that.
Yeah, I know they've been married for 15 years, which means he's got to find a new person soon. But whatever. But it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to, and it's, and you know, I mean, I know it's his life, and he gets to judge what. I don't know why I'm backpedaling. Woody Allen isn't listening. Fuck him.
Yeah, fuck Woody Allen. I also I never watched a lot of Woody Allen movies growing up, and
I watched all of them.
See, I never. My parents are not comedy fans. My dad's a really big sci-fi guy and action movies. And my mom likes the Bible.
Does she?
Yeah, just
good stuff.
Just the Bible.
My oldest brother's reprinting his own version. He's got a real good. He's got an angle. I guess he must have a
nice. It's all about marketing. It's all about just marketing that Bible.
The Terrycation Bible. Knock yourself out. That'll be fantastic.
But like I never really a lot of classic comedies I haven't seen really that much of. So my first experiences with Woody Allen were watching the last couple movies that have come out, and I was like, oh, so it's just like some asshole in an art gallery talking about how great New York is.
Right.
Like that's just what they
but at
felt
least
like.
when he was an asshole in an art gallery in Annie Hall, you were like, oh, he's sort of making fun of that asshole.
Yeah.
He is that asshole so bad right now that it's very hard. I've opened up a Dove dark chocolate. So inside each Dove dark chocolate is a dark promise.
Ooh.
And so you have to read them in a dark, dark voice. Renew our sense of renew. Oh, I'm sorry. It's hard to read. It's a little dodgy. Do you see?
Oh, yeah. It's hard.
The printing isn't good. It isn't me, Rangers of the Dork Forest. Renew your sense of discovery. And I'm going to do that by eating this piece of chocolate.
I like that. I also opened one up. Those who bring sunshine to the lives of others cannot keep it from themselves.
Jesus Christ, that's the longest dark promise I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Oof. Those who bring sunshine to the lives of others cannot keep it from themselves. Love, Dove.
Comedy, am I right? Just like
the darkest.
That's why comedians are so happy all the time.
Right, because we're constantly bringing joy.
Just bringing so much sunshine.
How long have you been doing stand-up?
Let's 5.5 years.
5.5 years. And did you start here in Los Angeles?
I did.
All right.
I did. I'm the one of the 5 that started in LA, and I'm like an LA comic.
Have you done any of the road stuff? Have you tried to get out on that? Any of that nonsense?
I've done like festivals on the road, and then I've gone like I was in Bridgetown last year, and I went up to Seattle, and I did like a guest set at the Comedy Underground up there. So like I've done that kind of stuff. The one I love having started in LA, but like the one big problem with that is it's really hard to get any semblance
road work.
Yeah, of any kind. And
you need the time, and it's hard to get the time unless because LA comics are like, well, how do I get to work the road? And I'm like, well, you gotta. Sadly, from here, you have Mr. Tribble, and you can do a Tribble run. Dave Tribble, Pacific Northwest, does a lot of one-nighters with 8-hour drives in between them. Yeah, Matt Champagne just did his first Tribble run, and he only did 2 nights out. Yeah, and he was like, I want to do the road, and nobody's going to book me. So I'm like, well, what you have to do is you have to learn how you have to get to 30. Yeah, and so he was hilarious because he messaged me from the first night, and we were talking at some show here. Because one of the beautiful things about Los Angeles stand-up comedy is that it encourages you to write from a very unique perspective.
Definitely,
and to write a lot of new material.
You get held to a really high standard here, and I really love that about it.
Right, because you want it ups your game.
Yeah,
easy.
Totally.
So, but what it does not do is it doesn't give you a tight 30 in crowd control skills. Yeah. Which is what a Tribble run will do. And so Matt, the first night out, Matt Champagne, who by the way hasn't been on the show in a while. Do you know what his dorkdom is? No. He has recorded every single message that he has ever received, voicemail. Really? He has them all on tape. That's amazing. For 30 years. And you're like, why? And he goes, what do you mean? Anyway.
I need something for the shelves.
What do you mean, why? And I was like, well, there's the definition of a dorkdom. Yeah, exactly. He was like, so the first night, what he's doing is he's featuring. So it's with Tribble runs are 2-man shows. One person does 30 minutes, the next person does 45 to an hour. Cool. As much as the market can bear. Yeah. what you do is you go into a sports bar or a strip club
Yeah.
or an eatery,
A bowling alley or whatever. Yeah.
whatever's happening in the middle of fucking nowhere.
Yeah.
And you go up to the bartender and you say, "Hey, this is we're the comics." And they're like, "Okay, well you're going to be standing on that piece of property over there with a microphone," which is you've done a million times here in Los Angeles.
LA is very good at the creative comedy show.
Right? So in this case though, there are 7 career drunks standing at the bar, and then everyone from town comes.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing else to do in the tiny town that you've come to.
Nice.
So there might be 80 to 120 people come out to see the show. And they are drunk and not always attentive, but there. And they're psyched that you're there. And they're like, all right.
Let's have fun.
And so I get an email from Matt Champagne saying, "If this is what the road is, I'm never coming out here again." And I said, "That is not what the road is. That is a tribble run. That is something else entirely.
Yeah.
It is a different set of skills and you're learning them. Good for you."
Yeah.
And he said, "Well, I've set up the headliner. It's fine. He's doing good." And I said, "Well, then you've done everything you're supposed to."
That's your job.
"Did you do your 30 minutes?" He goes, "Yes." And I said, "Then you get paid." Second thing.
Yeah.
And so they're all pointing the same direction and expecting stand-up comedy, which is all the headliner needs. And so that was the first night. And then the second night, he emails me. He's like, "Hey, I did better. It went better." And I said, "And you're addicted."
There it is. Yeah. See, I've actually been wanting to do this for a while because I don't get heckled often in LA. You don't work on crowd control or anything like that here at all. And I like riffing with people.
And they may not be heckling. It may
yeah.
just be silent staring.
Yeah.
And then you got to do your time.
Yeah.
And that's what you do.
Well, I ran a show at a bowling alley in Eagle Rock for 2.5 years, and it was called the 4 and 20, and it was
Right. I remember that.
Yeah.
And 4 people did 20 minutes each. Is that the deal?
Yeah, that was it. Because I was like, because for that exact reason, I was like, I need to learn long form. There's 3 transients here, and that's my
Right.
audience.
That's
and
it.
If I make the 3 hobos laugh, if Wheelchair Bob likes my jokes today. We actually had a guy named Wheelchair Bob.
Bob enjoyed the nickname Wheelchair Bob.
But he gave it to himself.
He gave it to himself. He said, "Please call me Wheelchair Bob."
Wheelchair Bob, according to him, was a track coach in the Olympics in the 70s that fell on hard times because drugs.
Sure.
And then he was in a wheelchair, and he would paint his nails during the comedy show and then draw pictures of trucks and give me pictures of trucks.
All right.
And that was every Tuesday for me for 2.5 years. And it was, I liked it though, because it definitely changed my style in a fun way. Because I've, a lot more conversational on stage, and you don't hold your jokes quite so sacred anymore, because it's
Right.
like, oh yeah, well I'll talk about your thing for a minute, I'll come back, and
Right.
you learn like the weird quiet authority that you need to have, the
Yep.
the whimsical authority that you have to have on stage, of just
Right.
we're all having fun, but it's my party.
Right. This is my time.
Yeah.
And we'll talk afterwards. It'll be fine.
Exactly. So I mean, that show just ended because the guy that owns the bowling alley is an asshole, but I really,
Well, the thing is about a 2.5-year run at doing that kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's time to, there's
it's
a place
time.
over here on Van Nuys Boulevard called
Yeah.
Corky's.
oh yeah?
And it has a bar in it. And it would be the greatest place for a stand-up show. I don't know if you've ever been to Corky's.
I have not.
On Van Nuys Boulevard, just south of Magnolia.
Yeah.
And and they serve food. They're open
cool.
until 11 p.m. weeknights and 2 a.m. on the weekends. And they serve food till they close.
Noted.
Noted. And a
Noted.
full bar with a mic stand, because they have
Yeah.
music most nights.
Oh, okay. Oh,
I wonder if
perfect.
they have ska.
They might. I mean, ska bands pop up all over the place. You never know where the hell they're going to be.
Because it only seats about it. I mean, if there's 20 people in there, it's good, but it
Yeah.
could probably seat 80
Oh, cool.
people packed. So it'd be a good one.
Nice.
It's so at Brandazzle on Twitter.
At Brandazle on Twitter.
Do you have a Facebook? Are you open to Facebook or not?
Oh, yeah,
really?
yeah.
Whatever.
Facebook.com/Brandie Posey. Brandie with an IE, Posey with an EY.
People should see you do stand-up comedy, because I enjoy your stand-up
thank
comedy.
you.
It is
Thanks a
it
lot.
is always an entertainment to me
you.
whenever you go on stage and talk with your joke hole.
Yeah, I enjoy it. It's I have it. I got rid of my insomnia. Ironically, when I started doing it,
Weird,
and
'cause you're up late.
Yeah, because I'm up late, but I feel accomplished, so I go to sleep, and the mind doesn't race quite as much as it used to.
Nice.
Yeah, and I also I haven't been bored in 5.5 years, which is probably the greatest part about doing it.
Yeah. There's something, folks. Find something that takes away your ennui, and that is a first world problem. But
Yep.
we all have it.
Yeah.
There's 308 million of us, so we're fighting that good fight.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you so much for being on the show, Brandie
Thanks for
Posey.
having me. This was so
I
fun.
learned about ska.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in, Rangers. Take care of each other out there. Good day.
My hat, my hat, my hat. They're dancing around my hat. My hat, my hat, my hat. Well, what do you think of that? If it looks like a Mexican hat dance and it sounds like a Mexican hat dance, it's most likely a Mexican hat dance. So take off your hat and let's dance.
Yay! Oh my God. Why don't we just call that as the end of the show?